So today is Emancipation Day across the Caribbean, In 1834, the 1st of August 1834 is when the proclamation was passed to say that the former British Caribbean colonies could be freed from slavery, even though they weren't actually freed from slavery until 1838. They basically just diverged more into indentured servitude. And then today, so Emancipation Day 2020, it's come out that the Jamaican courts have ruled that they're going to allow a black child in Jamaica to be banned from going to a school if they don't cut their locks off. And it's really, really bothered me. It really has bothered me. Think that you are sitting there and claiming that it's Emancipation Day, and in a few days, on the 4th of this month, the 6th of this month, it's going to be Independence Day in Jamaica. But what exactly are they going to be celebrating? Can someone explain it to me? What exactly are you going to be celebrating when black children can be discriminated against for either being Rastafarian and having dreadlocks or just having locks in general in Jamaica in 2020? Is the colonial mentality that strong that you can't free yourself from that bind? You are claiming independence. Yeah, you're claiming independence, but the truth of the matter is you're really not that independent. And that's not me saying, that's not me speaking to the general citizens of the country, because it's not their fault. I'm talking directly to the government. I'm talking to the courts in Jamaica. How are you screaming Independence Day and claiming that Jamaica is the hub of the Caribbean, but yet you can't even free yourself from under the gaze of the royal family here in Britain? Make it make sense to me. Come on now. Make it make sense, because I don't understand how you think it's acceptable in 2020 to allow a child to be discriminated against just because she has locks. And the funny thing is, I actually, was on Twitter today and I was reading some threads that was going on about this situation. Actually, a hell of a lot of Jamaican artists, whether they're Rastafarians or not, are also speaking out against this situation, which is really a good thing. But it's so embarrassing that this situation has been reported on by the Washington Post. Now, the Washington Post is one of those major American newspapers. So this is incredibly embarrassing on Emancipation Day for that to, for it to be like the front fucking page saying, Jamaican courts have banned. Do you know how stupid and embarrassing it looks? An Emancipation Day. So as I was saying, I was going through the threads on Twitter, and a lot of people are actually talking about the anti-blackness that goes on in the Caribbean. Well, specifically talking about Jamaica, of course. That apparently box braids are also in certain schools. Box braids are banned. Twist outs are banned. Afros, Afro puffs, all these kind of hairstyles that are common to black people are also banned. And it just really, I'm thinking to myself, a majority black country that's still holding on to white supremacy. And you would think, like people always talk about, out of many one people, but is it really? Is it really out of many one people? Because first of all, yeah, white supremacy is dominating these politicians' minds. And secondly, you keep saying out of many one people, but the truth of the matter is Jamaica is a majority black country. I don't understand why they keep peddling this out of many one people. It doesn't make any sense, because the majority of people in Jamaica are black. Okay, it's a very small minority who are Asian or white. Very, very small minority. So that motto that they have does not even make any sense. And the simple fact is, they don't mind if a white person goes to school with their straight hair. They don't mind if an Asian person goes to school with their straight hair. But they do mind when a black person goes to school with their dreadlocks. They do mind when a black person goes to school with their box braids and puffs and afros and their dreadlocks. They do mind that. So how can you say out of many one people, but then you're going to discriminate against the majority of the country's population? Do you have common sense in your head? And the funny thing is, you're always talking about, oh yeah, these majority black countries, but yet the politicians are just puppets for white supremacy, because you know they're not the ones pulling the strings. You know who's the one pulling the strings behind the freaking curtains? They will never allow you to acknowledge the fact. But listen, me and my mouth are gonna talk about it. It's just really disappointing to me, and it's embarrassing. I mean, I'm not Jamaican, I'm of Jamaican descent, but I'm clarifying that because they're always on Twitter telling us of Caribbean descent that we're not actually Caribbean, but it's okay because I'm still gonna support you anyway. But yeah, but I'm not Jamaican, I'm just of Jamaican descent, and it's embarrassing to me to know that this country where my ancestors come from is doing up fuckery, and it's reaching the whole world. Like, basically, literally everybody knows about it. If they don't know about it, they're gonna know about it by the end of the day. I just don't know what to say, really. But it's just further proof of, you keep saying that slavery in the Caribbean wasn't that bad, but then look what's going on today. Yeah, look what's going on today. And yet you want to sit there and say that slavery in the Caribbean wasn't that bad. The fact that even though it's 2020 and it's Emancipation Day, the day we're supposed to be celebrating when we were technically free, but they didn't tell us about it. It's just further proof of what white supremacy, colonialism and slavery has done to the mass majority of black people. It really has. Because you are a predominantly black country, and yet you have allowed courts to rule against black people for choosing to wear their hair in locks. Now, you don't have to wear, from what my understanding, they're not Rastafarian, which is fair enough, but I really don't think it matters, because whether you're Rastafarian or not, it's the fact that they have locks. And then I saw someone post a video on Twitter saying about how that locks carry nits and all this, I mean lice or whatever, and I'm thinking to myself, no, lice and nits, they prefer straight hair. They're not I mean, I'm not saying that a person with natural hair can't get nits or whatever, but I'm just saying they prefer straight hair because it's a lot easier for them.
Against locks was set for health reasons, the principal not wanting an outbreak of lice.
There have been numerous reported, and you can just go on social media to find the responses from yesterday about this, reported lice outbreaks in several schools where no locks were involved. Second, locks don't result in a public health crisis in schools. It's a myth.
I'm just really disgusted and disappointed and embarrassed, and now that it's reaching American Twitter, do you know what that's what's gonna do? And I don't see Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, I don't see him saying nothing. Just a couple of weeks ago he was opening his mouth talking about how Jamaica is the hub of the Caribbean or whatever he was saying, even though he shouldn't have been saying that. He should have just been minding his business. Like, you're the Prime Minister of Jamaica. You need not to be biased like that, okay? You don't need to be biased like that. But now that it's a situation where Rastafarians and people who have locks are being discriminated against, your mouth is deeply silent. You ain't saying boo to a goose. Andrew, how come you're silent now? Mr. Holness, how come you're silent now? Where is your mouth now? Okay, your hub of the Caribbean has the potential for people to not fuck with it, and where is your mouth now? Where is it? You better open it. Open it and explain this situation. Explain why you are the Prime Minister of this country in 2020, you have not drafted up some policies that will get rid of this anti-blackness. Because this is the thing, yeah. They can draft up policies, but they don't want to. Because they know full well if they do, the Queen is going to kick up a fuss. Even though she doesn't really have that much power, she's still pulling strings. So, me not understand why them can't open their mouth and, like, say, we're going to change things, okay? So that the courts cannot pass rulings on people for how they choose to wear their hair. It's the lingerings from slavery, racism, anti-blackness, self-hate, all these kind of things in a majority black country, and you think it's utopia, and it's not utopia. Like, seriously, they need to do better. Like I said, it's not all Jamaican people. I'm specifically talking to the government. You need to do better, because this is shameful and it's disgraceful. 2020, and this broken Emancipation Day of all fucking days. And in 5 days' time, it's going to be Independence Day. Independent what? What are you independent from? How are you truly independent when you still got these disgraceful mentalities and this whole they're not presentable, they're unkept, and all this kind of bullshit? Who are they? Like, presentable by white people's standards, but what about your standards? What about your standards? Black people don't have minds of their own. Do you not have a mind of your own to come up with your own standards? Instead of following and kissing white batty, that's not serving you. It's not serving you any good. That's not serving you any good. Allowing a child to be kicked out of school because of how she wears her hair, as if it's going to affect her education. Her hair is going to affect her education. This shit happens here in the UK. It happens in America. You don't expect to hear about it happening in a majority black country. You really don't expect it to happen in a majority black country. You really don't. So fix up, Mona. Anyway, I had to get that rant off my chest because it was really bothering me. So please let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And I shall see you tomorrow for some more YouTube videos. Okay? Bye.